All right, we're looking at an exponential decay problem here. Your chances of interacting with aliens decreases 23.5% for every 300 light years you travel. Your chances of interacting with aliens at the origin of life is 135 Voisk. Construct a model to represent your chances of interacting with aliens at a distance in hundreds of light years. Use your model to determine your chances of interacting with aliens at 750 light years. And then round your answer to the nearest Voisk. Okay, so a really beautiful problem here talking about interacting with aliens. And let's look at our important information. So something's decreasing, right? That's how I know it's going to be a decay. And I know it's exponential because we're decreasing by a percentage, right? And exponentials deal with percentages of increases or decreases. A decrease is a decay. Now, it's very important to recognize 135 Voisk. This is our original amount. So there's our, lost my O, original amount. Here's our percent decrease. This 300, it's for every 300 light years you travel. So if you travel 300 light years, your exponent would be a 1. If you travel 600, okay, so 300 light years, your exponent is 1. 600 light years, your exponent is 2. 900, your exponent would be 3. So you really have to pay attention to what your exponent is going to be based off of how many light years you travel. But we'll get to that in a minute. First thing we want to deal with is our exponential model. So remember, our ending amount is our initial amount. We're decaying, so 1 minus our percent decrease raised to our time period. So when we're thinking about our model here, well, my ending amount, initial, I'm starting at the origin of life, which is 135 Voisk. Inside, I'm going to subtract my percent decrease. If I change 23.5% to a decimal, I get 0.235. And then I'm raised to my time period. Remember, my time is for every 300 light years. So however many light years I have, I'm going to have to divide that by 300. And think that's where this comes into play. Because 300 divided by 300 is 1. 600 divided by 300 is 2. 900 divided by 300 is 3. So however many light years I'm traveling, I need to divide it by 300 so I know what my exponent should be. So here's kind of our base model. Now let's go ahead and simplify that inside. So when I subtract 1 minus 0.235, so I'm going to end up with 135. Inside I get 0.765, and then my time again is x over 300. So if we go back to our problem then, it tells us that we want to know our chances of interacting with aliens at 750 light years. Well, our x value is what's represented in the light years. So I'm going to plug in my 750 light years right there. Depending on your calculator, some of your calculators, you can just throw that in parentheses and go with it if that makes you uncomfortable, because exponents are very tricky when you're talking about using a calculator. If you go ahead and divide 750 by 300, you get a pretty nice number of 2.5. And then we can just plug this into our calculator. So 135 times the quantity of 0.765 raised to the 2.5 power. Remember, only this piece is being raised to the 2.5 power. You will multiply by 135 last if you're doing this in steps. And your calculator gives you 69.1 Voisk. But if you remember, the question says round to the nearest Voisk, 0.1 rounds down. So we would say the chances of interacting with an alien are 69 Voisk, whatever that means.